Have you ever smacked your children? And if so, do you or did you at the time feel guilty about it? Now, I'm not talking about beating children, just the odd slap perhaps when they've been really naughty and won't stop whatever it is they're doing. Sounds innocent enough, perhaps, but in some countries it's against the law, and it looks as though we're moving in that direction here in Britain. In Sweden, it's been illegal to smack children for 11 years now. Our special guest tonight is Adrienne Heuser, Professor of Social Welfare at the University of Wisconsin. She spent a lot of time in Sweden carrying out research into the effect of the anti-smacking law. Maggie Philbin has done some research of her own here in Britain. She's been talking to different families about smacking. Those who do, those who don't, and those who do but wish they didn't.
I change his nappy every week.
Children never fail to be captivated by the magic of Punch and Judy, even though there's a fair amount of domestic violence.
Oh, yes, you are. Now, you know, Mr. Punch, if you naughty you by, baby, will you call me?
To have a modern parent's dilemma. Should he be smacking his child? After all, it's been banned in schools, and there's a growing lobby to make it illegal in the home as well. Because it's only your own children you can smack without fear of reprisal.
Leave, not quite so now.
Like her fellow teachers, Frances Burton would never dream of hitting one of the children in her class, but she does believe that parents have the right to do so.
I think it's a very, very hard and underestimated job bringing up small children. And I think people need encouragement, not criticism. I have smacked my children, but very, very rarely, because I think the most important thing is to get a good sense of discipline, along with fun, from the start. I found with my own children, when they were small, that they learned very quickly that if they were told no for something, they were given a reason, and they quickly accepted that once that was no, then Mum didn't change her mind. I think that some children will push you to the very, very limits, and I think that they need to know that everybody has their own limits.
I think smacking is violence, because if a child gets smacked a lot, then it could lead them to use violence in the street and things like that.
Why do you agree with smacking?
Because if you're sent to your room and you've got a lot of books and toys to play with, it doesn't solve anything being sent to your room. Smacks are better.
I don't think they're smacking that right, because children want revenge after you've been smacked, but they do need a bit of discipline.
So is that how you feel like if you get smacked?
Yeah, I want revenge.
I think smacking's better than telling off, because telling off, you get all choked up inside.
And do you think you need to be smacked?
Sometimes when I do really naughty things,
What do you think is really naughty?
when I smashed a leg over my mum's head.
There are many children who will feel very envious of Sam and Ben Roscombe because their parents no longer believe in smacking.
A smack is a quick fix. It might tell the child to stop, but it doesn't tell the child why to stop. It's very difficult, I think, for children to respect their parents if they know they're being smacked, possibly even for the wrong things. Children grow up equating love and affection and protection with hitting, and this then is manifest in how they treat each other. I try and relate what I punish them with. You know, if they're behaving really stupidly, then I'll say, look, how can I expect to take you to such and such a place if this is how you show me you behave? So I try and connect the things so that they learn that if they want to go into an adult situation for whatever reasons, that they've got to be a bit more responsible.
What's the matter with it now?
The left hand should be a bit more legato.
What, here? Tish and her husband Luke believe that time spent encouraging and explaining things to their children has been a good investment.
I'm very pleased with them as people. They're very easy. I've never had a social situation where they've let me down in any way or they've let themselves down in any way.
Even more. It's all very well well saying that you should reason with your children, but children don't always respond to reason. So what do you do with your child when he's being particularly difficult and you don't believe in smacking? Meet James.
He's always been very strong-willed, and he's always had a clear idea of what he wanted to do. The tantrums with him started sort of at 9 or 10 months, and they've just sort of progressed as we reach the terrible 2s and beyond. Now he's 2.5.
Any parent knows the ridiculous amount of power a 2-year-old can wield. James Edwards has already been banned from his music class for being disruptive, and more trouble lies in store because of his current obsession with trains.
We go to playgroup, and he's playing with the train set there. It's terrible when we have to come home, even with sort of bribes over leaving. If anybody else touches the trains that he's got, or touches the track, that sort of produces instant shrieking, jumping up and down, waving his arms. And everybody knows at the playgroup that it's James who's screaming because he's particularly loud about it.
If James is always so difficult, why doesn't she smack him?
I just didn't want to hurt him. It just seemed so awful to smack him. Not only that, but I mean, once you smack him and he doesn't do what you've said, what do? You have to smack him again, probably harder. And the next day, if he doesn't do what you say, you then have to smack him once or twice or 3 times. It doesn't sort of stop there.
Once Charlotte was born, juggling with James's tantrums became even more difficult. Sarah's determination not to smack was put to the test when James learnt to pick the fridge lock and discovered the delight of smashing eggs, a habit that proved hard to break.
I used to earnestly take him into the sitting room and read him a story or something, and as soon as it was lunchtime, we'd get back in the kitchen, he'd be at the fridge again with the eggs. And it got to the stage where I just didn't buy any more eggs because it was just a waste of time. And I'm very patient, but I mean, he drives me to distraction some days when he won't cooperate at all, and we've got to go somewhere. Now, I have smacked him on 3 occasions, and he had absolutely no effect whatsoever. And when we next went out and he was naughty, I can't remember what it was now, I said to him, "Come on, James, you must be a good boy." And he said, "Don't hit me, Mummy, don't hit me," very piteously, so that, everybody looked at me and I felt, oh, child beater.